everybody, happy Friday and welcome to Against the Fence. This is your latest UFC news with that real fan opinion, of course. Now, we've only got two things to talk about tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Nate Diaz potentially fighting Dustin Poirier. There's been some alterations on Twitter, but we're going to dig into that in just a sec. Also, we're going to be talking about Sean O'Malley because he might be having a next opponent. It might be lined up at UFC 268. But first, a few housekeeping notes for you. Earlier on this week, we did release our UFC 265 Aftermath show. Do check that out because we make some predictions as to what fights the UFC will make next. And tune in for that and, have your say on that as well. Whether or not we're going to be right or, if you've got other fights in mind, do let us know. And also, I want to say this Saturday, we don't have a watch along. There is no UFC event, but we're going to be bringing you something special. Now, a few months ago, we did bring out our UFC end of 2021 champ predictions. We've revisited the video. We're going to see who's sort of in line to get what right and really look back at what the division looked like back then when we did it. So, stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out tomorrow night. So let's dig into some news then. We've got Dustin Poirier teasing Nate Diaz interest, the fight, okay? I've got to sigh at this one. But before I get into my opinions about it, let's then read what happened on Twitter. Because all of a sudden, to spark interest, Dustin Poirier tweeted Nathan with a question mark, and clearly everyone's gone bananas about it. And then a couple of hours later, Nate sort of replied, not directly, saying, "Let's fight, don't be scared this time though." And then later on, Nate then tweeted again saying, "I knew you was a pussy." I think this was a day later. It might have been a day later. Yeah, the next day. He said, "I knew you was a pussy," 2-0. And then Dustin replied saying they're lying and you're getting played. So definitely some talks are there between the two fighters and the UFC to potentially put this fight on. Now, I don't know what you guys think, but Dustin's coming off of the back-to-back wins against Conor McGregor, right? Correct. Where he's looked phenomenal in both of them, right? He's constantly rising. He looks better and better as we see him. Everyone's expecting him to fight Charles Oliveira, right? If you're a fan of Dustin Poirier, you want that fight next, 100%. Now, I'm not exactly personally a massive fan of Dustin. I admire Dustin Poirier, but I wouldn't classify myself as a fan. But I want to see that fight next. Now, Dustin is also likely to be favourite in that fight as well, okay? Over Charles Oliveira, without a doubt. Bookie's favourite. And he has probably the best chance of winning a UFC title at the moment. In the fans' eyes, and probably, and ability-wise as well, overall, as a mixed martial artist. As for Diaz, on the other hand, he's lost 2 in a row now against Leon Edwards and Masvidal, right? His last fight at lightweight was back in 2015 against Michael Johnson. Yes, that was amazing. Okay, he looked great in that fight, and then later on went on to fight Conor McGregor. But the question with that is he capable of committing to making the cut down to 155 again? Or would the fight against Dustin be a catchweight? I'd imagine it would be a catchweight. It kind of makes sense. We got some chats already. Dustin knocks out Diaz, says Ash, but needs to fight for the belt. Absolutely. Yep. So Ash also agrees with us. Fighter 365, welcome to the channel. He says, nice channel. Thank you, buddy. So, yeah, I to be honest, this fight really doesn't get me up. I don't want to see it. I really don't want to see it. It doesn't get me excited. And yeah, okay, Diaz is an exciting fighter, and he does bring a lot of a big fan base. There is a big Nate Diaz fan base. But surely you're not sick and tired of seeing the same crap, really, from him. There's nothing new from him. It is just come forward, slug it out, have an iron chin. If it goes to the ground, lucky, latch something on, maybe get the win. But he just gets outpointed every time, right? As for Dustin Poirier, you need something new. You need to go on to challenge that belt. You've had the first title shot against Khabib. You fell short. Unlucky. Move on. You got a title fight basically in the grip of your hands. And now you'd rather fight Nate Diaz. Now, I completely get the reasons, okay? I completely get the reasons. But my question is it really a money fight for Dustin when Nate's, his stock must be decreasing from these last previous fights, right? I guess it is. I guess it is the money fight. But it's so frustrating, and this is the world that we're beginning to live in now. More and more fighters are talking about fighter pay and the fact that they should be paid more by the UFC and the brass and things like that. And basically, fighting for the belt just now means it's pointless, right? It's just lost its spark almost. Yeah, I think that's got to be about money. It says Ash, yeah, absolutely. And I guess my question is who's to blame for this? Is it the UFC to blame for the fighter pay? Is it Conor McGregor blame for fighter pay? Or is it Jake Paul? All right? Because we're seeing these expedition fights that are where fighters are being paid X amounts of money, way more money than what they would for a UFC title fight. And it is kind of killing the title fight model for the UFC. It really is. But for me, it stems from I think the rise of Conor McGregor, personally, because he set the bar on how you should market yourself and how you should carry yourself in the UFC and to attract the casual fans, right? And there's not many other fighters who've been managing to do that. Yes, we're kind of starting to see it with Sean O'Malley now. He's also expressed his interest in the fact he wants to be paid more. But Sean O'Malley, he's okay. I guess he's popular. He's got his channels, YouTube channels, gaming channels, whatever, and his stock's up here, but then his fighting ability is down here, right? If your fighting ability is down here, you're definitely not going to fight the best guys. But we're going to get into that topic in just a sec. So let us know who you think was really to blame here for the whole fighter pay situation. Is it the UFC? Well, of course it's the UFC, I guess. They're the ones paying the guys. But I guess fighter pay has always been the topic, right? I bet it's gone on for years and years. But it's being highlighted ever so more now in 2021 because of the likes of Jake Paul and the likes of Conor McGregor, who, are very good at marketing things. But, who do you shift the blame more to for this outrage? I don't know, man. I don't know. Anderson Silva versus Ortiz came out now. No one wants to see that. Just money, says Ash. My opinion with that, yeah, I guess it's just another two washed-up fighters find each other in, whatever fucking rules they want to do. Sorry for swearing. I really should stop swearing, shouldn't I? But, yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense if you two guys effectively retired from the sport and you want to make a quick buck. I guess so. Some people will watch it. That's fair enough. As for my points then, so who would win out of Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier then? Well, Diaz is going to be a much taller fighter than Poirier, and he might edge him in the grappling as well. I reckon it's possible. Diaz definitely has more submission wins than Dustin Poirier. And, he's nasty off of his back, of course. So you've got to give the edge there. Both guys are extremely tough, and durable. Not likely to quit. For Nate Diaz, we've seen it in nearly all of his fights. The guy's a zombie. He comes forward. He gets hit all the time. You could barely knock him out. Obviously, Josh Thompson knocked him out that one time. But apart from that, he looks unstoppable. And the example of one of the toughest fights he's been in was the second Conor fight was pretty tough, I guess. Conor looked like to have had him hurt several times in that second one. As for Dustin, that Dan Hooker fight was a barn burner, man. So, Dustin can swing and hang in there as well with the best. So, yeah, that fight would clearly go to a decision. And in my opinion, I think Dustin's capable of winning the decision and just outputting Diaz and getting the decision win, without a doubt. Yes, true. Both are so tough, says Ash. Yeah, let us know how you'd see that fight go and whether you really want to see it. I'm not bothered. Like I said, I really don't want to see it. It pains me. If you're a Dustin Poirier fan, you should be bummed out about it, and you should be like, look, come on, man, get some belts. and then really, because that's what means most. I mean, I guess if you're casual, you're probably not that bothered. If you're a diehard mixed martial arts fan, you want to see the best fight the best. And in this scenario, I guess it's a good fight, but I wouldn't say it's not exactly against two of the best at the moment in one particular division. Anyhow, I guess we can move on about that. My second piece of news is that Arsenal are losing to Brentford. 1-0. No, I'm joking. It's fucking hilarious though, isn't it? If the score has changed whilst we're live, please do keep us up to date. I mean, it's quite funny. No, that's not my second piece of news. My second piece of news is, of course, Sean O'Malley. There's been a rumour. I believe Errol Hawani was the guy to sort of ruffle feathers about it. And yeah, Sean O'Malley's rumoured to fight Frankie Edgar. So Sean O'Malley will get another shot at top 15 guy against Frankie Edgar. Wait, so we got a chat here real quick. Battery dying, interesting chat, pal. Keep getting. See you again soon. Cheers, Fighter365. Thanks for joining in, man. Get your battery juiced and join the remainder of this episode. When you can, of course. So this fight here, I think. Do you know what? The UFC really trying to set O'Malley up, really, aren't they? They really are. They've looked at the roster and they've gone, which guy in the top 15 is, at the moment, as it stands, not stylistically, as it stands, which one of the top 15 is Sean O'Malley likely to beat? Well, you've got, okay, Rafael Santos coming from that devastating knockout against Cody Garbrandt, sorry. But then slightly above him, you've got Frankie Edgar. Oh, I know. Let's put him against Frankie Edgar, who got flying lead, got completely flatlined by Corey Sandhagen, and is a fighter who's probably on his way out. Technically, looking at the evidence now, you suggest it, right? So I guess that fight makes sense, right? If you're the UFC's brass, you skip the queue ahead of everyone else. If you win, you skip Marlon Vera, who did beat you. Okay, your leg was compromised and stuff due to the calf kicks, but you lost that fight, fair game. But if you beat Frankie Edgar, you're now off to the races. Like, that's it. Your fights from then on get ridiculously tough. Right. We've got my boy Frankie says Ash, of course. Ash, we all know, loves Frankie Edgar. And is a huge Frankie Edgar fan and doesn't stop on about him. Fighter365 said, I'm going to Walker versus Santos. Oh, 2nd of October. Can't wait. Pumped. Backstage 2 as I'm Walker's media. Oh, wow. No way. Oh, sweet. Fighter365. That's an amazing thing you managed to get a hold of there. Maybe get in touch. We'd like to talk to you about, your ability to get backstage for this fight and how it came about. Would be interesting to get your opinions on that fight as well, and how you're making it in the media. Yeah, get in touch with us. FightNight.ATF @gmail.com. Sorry, I'm insane. Santos winning that as well. Yeah. So back on the topic of Sean O'Malley, then, what do you guys think? Because he's clearly getting a golden ticket here against Frankie Edgar, in my opinion. However, in the past, the UFC have tried to do exactly the same thing, where they've tried to rush an up-and-coming talent, and they put him in against Frankie Edgar. We saw that against Yair Rodriguez, which was mentioned to us on Twitter earlier on. And yeah, I remember that fight so well. Why the UFC paired that up, I don't know, because Frankie Edgar was in phenomenal shape and was definitely not out at that point and completely mauled Yair Rodriguez. And it underlined how stupid the UFC were to just completely rush a piece of talent. Like Yair Rodriguez. What's he doing now? Is he fighting top guys? Not really. He's been out for ages. Is he capable of getting up there? Absolutely. We're not seeing much of him, though. Is it due to injuries? I think it might be injuries. Was it pay? Who knows? But again, it's a big risk for the UFC to put Sean O'Malley in against Frankie Edgar. Now, I said that I thought that Song Adong would be next for Sean O'Malley, with both guys sort of looking to edge into the top 15. But, they just seem to be giving O'Malley these easy opponents recently, or options anyway. You had Moutinho, of course. He was scheduled to fight, what's his name? Ash, help me out. Smolka, was it Lou Smolka? Was meant to fight him. He's another prelim guy, and you're a big draw, right? You're meant to be on main cards, but you've had 10 fights now as a professional. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to slander O'Malley too much. He is quality, he's definitely got that spark about him, about his style. He's very free flowing, his movement's fantastic, his ability to close the distance is great. His combinations are phenomenal. Can he do it against a Frankie Edgar? Maybe, potentially. He is the bigger guy, and we've seen in the past with Frankie Edgar, his kryptonite seems to be these guys who are very tall and very long compared to he is. Cheng Son Jung, for example, he got knocked out by him. Brian Ortega got knocked out by him. Lost against Benson Henderson twice. The guy's got incredibly long limbs as well. So, if you usually see brass, I guess you've literally looked at O'Malley and gone, yeah, that makes sense. But if O'Malley loses, well, what next? I guess it wouldn't be the end of the day, really, would it? You're still fairly new to the sport, really. You're still young. 2 losses on your record is nothing, right? And losing to the best of the best as well will help you in your path along the way anyway to becoming gold. But all of a sudden, now, so we've gone from not rushing O'Malley to now rushing O'Malley to get up there. I don't really get this. I don't really get this play. How have you gone from Matinho to Frank Edgar? That's a huge jump. Come on, man. Can't be right. And it's going to happen at potentially happen at UFC 268, sorry. Now, I guess it is rumours, but, rumours in the MMA world are pretty spot on majority of the time. Yeah? So they probably are looking to target that. Things slip out quick. It will be at Madison Square Garden as well, which is around the corner for Frank Edgar. Not much of a big deal. I've missed some stuff in the chat. A few months ago, 100%, but not anyone. Johnny is phenomenal. Min, trust me. Santos, 3-loss streak. Johnny, young, hungry, and winning. Absolutely, yeah. No, Johnny Walker is a great rising star. He needs to get himself back up there. In terms of figure things out. The question with Johnny Walker is, I guess, has he really figured things out? Because he has been bouncing camp to camp, and I not looked the greatest in recent performances. Let's face it. Doesn't make sense for Frankie, though. Should be fighting ranked guys. Absolutely, says Ash. Massive risk for Frankie, like you said. A golden ticket for O'Malley. Yeah, no, absolutely. And to be honest, my opinion, I said in the Aftermath show as well, I thought O'Malley would fight Zongodong, and the Dominic Cruz... No, I said this for Songadong, didn't I? Did I say Songadong? I can't remember what I was saying now. I've forgotten what I was saying. Frankie Edgar. Well, anyway, I said that Frankie Edgar. I'd like to see Frankie Edgar versus Dominic Cruz, because I think that fight makes sense. But hey, anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts about this match. Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? Get in the comment section below. Get in the chat section. Be good to hear from you, or even you can at us on the Twitter handle at the top here somewhere. Get in touch with us that way. If you haven't followed us already, hit that follow. Stay up to date with all the things that we post on there. But yeah, that's all I've got time for tonight. Do hit the like on the video if you've enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel and you joined us for the first time, welcome. I introduced myself. I'm JK. Be good to hear from you guys, and see how passionate you are about the sport, of course, that we love. I'm JK then. This is ATF. Have a good weekend. Take care.